Hi everyone. How's it going today? It's been a little bit. Sorry about that, but we're starting a new game today, and that's always exciting. Hope you're all gonna like it. It's the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which is like, Phoenix Wright, but it's in the past. So let me go ahead and get things loaded up here, and we can get started. So I'm going into this blind, as usual with games I stream, for the most part. Oh, hold on. Sorry. Okay. Go to that scene and wait for me to pop up. Any second now. Hey, there I am. Hi. Hi, everyone. Okay. Let's boot up the game. Yeah, whatever. First time install. Hold on a minute. Weird. Starts in a window, which is kind of rare nowadays. Ooh, fancy. Okay, we gotta fix this right away. Options. Borderless. Yes, please. And we're gonna fix that as well. There we go. That's looking better. There we go. Yeah, that's sounding like a game right there. Okay. Sorry. Key config. Ooh. Reader. Alright. It's interesting if you just want to read through the story. Vibration, no. Looking at my controller, no. Do not want that. Yeah, I think we're good. So yeah, let's get started. I've only played, like, the first two Phoenix Wright games, I want to say. But again, that has nothing to do with this series, probably. So let's get started, I think. Hold on. There we go. Let's watch.
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide.
Well, that's a lovely way to start.
But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
That kid's going to jail. He done it. The Adventure of the Great Departure. Alright. Let's get going. Still can't believe it. Still can't believe this is happening. How can it be that just beyond the door is this quiet little chamber? It's the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate. What? Oh, no, nothing. Save your glares, murderer. Sorry. Better be sorry, killer. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough! It's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes, until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue! Technicalities, look at you, you haven't even graduated yet. And yet I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Right, Ryunosuke? Oh, yes, of course, sorry. What do you apologize to me for? Oh, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by student. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not. You have to believe me. I didn't do it. I could never murder someone. That's what they all say, you killer. There's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. You mean... I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. Kazuma Asogi, my best friend, also in his second year at Yume University. He's far more clever than I. Star student, in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive considering he's still an undergraduate. It's not that impressive. The very concept of a lawyer is only a few years old. Here in Japan, anyway. The qualifications don't mean much. Yet. I said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud of a friend like you, Kazuma. Truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. Congratulations, Kazuma. Looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last. I know, I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you, and proud as your friend. It's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. No, that's the headband. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing from my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. Wish I could see it too. Then come with me. We'll have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little while longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day I get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. So is it partner or partner? It was straight after that. That's when it happened. Asogi, may I have a word? Oh. Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case is of personal significance to me, but never mind that for now. Asogi. You should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers. Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense of this trial was a sudden decision. Seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? Feels as though I've seen him at university before. I see. I'll go at once then. I shall accompany you. Alright then, Ryunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes, thanks, Kazuma. I'm sure we'll never see those. Oh. This is awkward. If I may. Yes, sorry. You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Yujin Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at University. Professor Mikotoba. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, I've been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. It's nice. Asuka's told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? As you've no doubt heard, Asuka's been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked. Never granted again. What? Nah, as I suspected. You're unaware of this. I had a feeling Asuka may have chosen not to tell you. He's agreed to defend me. Knowing if he fails, his dreams will be shattered? But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? The administration is to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas study. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it. I swear it. I'm not a murderer. I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry? What do you mean? You'll soon understand once the proceedings get underway. But what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer for anyone else. You must say, I do. I do? Will the question be, well, you get married, obviously. Surely not. Do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant! Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. It would seem our surreptitious discussions are to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Osogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving! There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway. Yikes. Just a moment. This is it. This trial goes badly. Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. What's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. One and only chance of proving my innocence. The trial would decide my destiny. Here we go. Oh my god. Look at that. Look how panicked he is. Oh, that's amazing. Look at him. It's like he's about to die or something. So this is a courtroom. Yep. The Supreme Court of Judicature. Judicature. I don't know. I've never heard that word before. No court in the land has more power. I don't much like the looks of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that be have demanded this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time, but for now... You need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. Should I bother asking how his headband is flowing, but not his hair, if it's windy enough? Do I just need to accept that his headband just does that? I think I just have to accept that it does that, and not question it. Oh, man. Oh, man. Hey. Talking about recognizable faces. Man, it's gonna be a Legends of Arceus situation. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency. As is the defense. Before we begin, there is one point of order I'd like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedure, so the defendant's advocacy be decided 2 days prior to a trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I'm obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do... I need to answer quickly. What should I do? How long is it gonna zoom in on this guy's face? Let's wait and see. Kazuma's the lawyer here. I can't defend myself. If I said I do, it'll have to be tantamount to lying. And I've been accused of murder, for goodness sakes. This is no time for lies. Try to stop fidgeting, Ryunosuke. It's distracting. But I don't say I'll defend myself now. Things have gone very badly for my friend. Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, hope it's clear who advocate for his defense. We just said no. Uh-oh. What's the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be... What? What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikotoba told me everything, just now before the trial. He did what? He said your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you're to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off. No, it's not that, really. Just that... On the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes. I knew that's how you'd feel. It's exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself at today's trial. Well, well. Does the accused admit defeat already, renouncing his own counsel? Really? Is his name Ouchie? As in, hit? Pain? Or is it some Japanese pun I don't get?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows the defendant's innocence is so apparent he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. I realize you're in charge now, but still. Trying to look so bewildered. Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court. You must have perpetrated a most heinous crime indeed. As you're no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judicature. I'm good at words. Of Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? He's questioning your ability to do the job. Well, you can't be questioning it more than I am. So, let's start with the very simplest of questions. Oh, yes. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I care to remember. But, wait. Oh, I'm so nervous I can't even remember that. What was it again? Ryunosuke. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank? You know me so well. All the relevant information in the case can be found in the court record. But I can't even find that. It's simple. You can access the court record with the press of E. If you ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all there. What do you mean? What's an E? Just have to press E for the court record. Alright, there's no time to lose. This is a list of evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people instead with E. Let's take... Aw, man. Have to. Got details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press Z to go back. Alright. Taketsuchi Ouchi. Oh. Finnish visiting from the British Empire. John Wilson. So remember, everything with the current case can be found in the court record. Now, you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record, then press R to present. Try it now. It's Ouchie now. John Wilson. Okay, he doesn't like me pressing the actual keys on the keyboard, apparently, for some reason. The victim's name was... Dr. John H. Wilson. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England and invited to UMA University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. As most of you will be aware, we've just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. Can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. And yet, despite those delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Yume University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor? With a U? I didn't do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why his trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it? Exactly. The government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think. Wait. I've seen that man at university. He's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still. I should go and say hello. So I went over to the professor's table. And introduced myself, Dr. Wilson. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. How did this Professor of Medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. Is that in the court record? Doesn't say. The cause of death. Well, obviously, that was, Ryunosuke. Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. By evidence? But how? I know it was a gunshot, but... Oh, post-mortem report. Silly.
Yes!
Yes! Well... According to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma. Learn to read, you imbecile! That's the post-mortem report, I take it? Sorry, yes, that's right. The, post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see. As long as they're not going to be tested on any of these later. This will be on the test. This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range. Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record. Jesus, is far back. So that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail's incredible. Very well. I'm satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial. Certainly, Your Excellency. So, without further ado, in order to better appraise the court of the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened. Ugh, this is it then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikotoba? Yes, clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. That doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Ah, of course. When he was speaking to me before, he simply said, Kazuma Sogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his aura in, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is, rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. See, even Ryunosuke knows it. Oh, hi. Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please. Of course, my name is Satoru Hosonaga. I am the head waiter at a Western-style restaurant called La Carnival. I'm not... Okay. Sure. Sure then. I'm not gonna do the ahems. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. Well, it really should. As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, in an Occidental eatery 3 days ago. Understood. Hosonaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir. And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please. Oh, perspiring maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over. What about the big time rush? There are only 3 tables still occupied. That fits with my memory of it, too. There's hardly anyone else in the place. It was when I was in the kitchen, putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair, and standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student.
Yes!
Hold on, let me just clarify something here. Well, I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor. I didn't shoot him!
Objection!
I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur. But the next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you'll be penalized, defended Naruhodo. Don't worry, Ryunosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witness. If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in court today? Yes, without question. I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? No. There was no one else around that table but the deceased Englishman, the university student. Huh? Wait, what did you just say? There was no one else around that table. What's the matter, Ryunosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello... Oh, there was a woman sitting opposite him at his table. Really? That's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? Gotta wait and see, man. I desperately want to say something. I was told not to interject. Ryunosuke, if your parents tell you to study, you're the kind of man who would diligently get to work, aren't you? I suppose I am. Never gotten to Yume University otherwise. But you can't just always follow the rules in life, you know. If you don't say what you want to say right now, you'll seriously regret when you're found guilty. Alright, you scared me. I won't forget that piece of advice in a hurry. And there is something I want to say. I'm just gonna shut my eyes and say it.
Yes!
Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table.
Objection!
Dear me, what are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be the accused? This mere student is not a real lawyer after all? But I'm sure of what I saw. Hosonaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy. No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please have a look if you'd like to. Let me see. Sketch of the establishment's layout drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly very conscientious, waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. The wearer's business card has been entered into the court record. Okay, I'm gonna move the dialogue along. Please stop coughing. Please. So, the court has now heard a précis of the case. Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant, the only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense, if you were determined to pursue matters further in this trial. The prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm gonna be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Would it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual, about these peculiarities. You said it, Professor Mikitoba said it, and so is the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it? What? The accused is in fact innocent. The defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. You're just gonna abandon that duty? You're gonna give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellence. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll just see how decisive this evidence really is. I can talk well, I promise. Indeed. Prosecutor Aochi, please continue the proceedings. Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. I can be your devil or your angel. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witness. Very well. Officer, bring forth the witnesses at once. Oh, witnesses. Oh my goodness, look at these two. Oh man. Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court. Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant E.S. Inosa reporting for duty, sir. Myself, I find employed as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the efflorescence of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasute, a humble premises in the 2nd District. Curio Korakuta to your service. An antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing. Both these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question. They must be the diners at the other table the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post-noon, and not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curios with which I make my business. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. He's an antique dealer. Sounds like he's a regular La Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets La Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Well, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer. Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct? Affirmative! The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir. It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearm, sir. This man's impossible to understand as the other. But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. I heard it too. It sounded like a rubber ducky or something. So, this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldiers claiming they actually saw the precise moment he shot the victim dead. Yes. Well, I'm starting to feel uncomfortable. If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You'll state everything you saw at the precise moment the incident occurred. Sir, yes sir, standing by to report. Okay, that's not a rubber duck, that's a baby. Unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon. This guy's saying so many words. What the witnesses saw. I was adjusting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian. And from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Hey, that already is wrong. I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysterious, absconded precious curio. Absconded, you say? Anyway. Just pointing out the funny date. Well, so you, Sergeant Nose, actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. That wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy. What times we live in when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day. But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Ryunosuke? Yes, I didn't pick up the gun I saw lying on the floor. After I'd said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant. When I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it. So I bent down just as I was picking it up. Second gun! Two guns, Mickey. If that's true, there's obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. Somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is? Ryunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witness. Cross-examine? Do it now! As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It's time to bring this despicable student to justice. Certainly, the testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this trial. Yes. What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? I mean, the defense demands right to cross-examination. Dear me, let me guess. The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. Huh? How'd he know? They're not exactly being quiet. The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination? The defense is asserting its right to cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Kazuma's so commanding. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means what that soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but just a case of proving it. The key to doing it is as evidence. Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive, indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you. Aw, what a pathetic slap. Alright then. It's all or nothing. That's a pathetic slap. My god. Mm-hmm. From the back, the cowardly little weasel. The back, you say?
Yes!
Come on, pal. Come on, pal. Get with the program. What are you playing at, cadet? What's the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting some photographic print in my mustache? Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes. There's a clear consistency here. What nonsense. What could this possibly tell us we don't already know? Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there's no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom. This is so frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. Couldn't be more plain. To spell would be an insult to the court. Kazuma, what? What are you talking about? It's apparent from a single glance at the photographic print presented by the defense. There's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant Nota. Yes, sir! What, sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir! Affirmative, sir! I witnessed crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir!
Yes!
But no, that just can't be. And why not, cadet? Because... Take a close look at the print. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? Oh my goodness. What the... What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back, but he pushed it down again. Certainly, there's a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixated on the delicious La Carnival steak, sir. What? The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Yasunosa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all. Ugh, that's absurd. I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There's no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. Gah! There's the baby. It's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial. Just that one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. But I definitely saw him! That university cadet there. He was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back.
Yes!
But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either? Myself, I have already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure. Treasure? Indeed, the Hosei era koban, my prized coin. On each occasion when I visit that restaurant, it is my habitude to place in my bosom pocket a particular trinket of interest from my shop, Rasute, in the hope of meeting a rich diner who might like to buy it from you. On the day under scrutiny, it was to the military man that I proffered my Hoei treasure. Believe that he would purchase such a rare find, I did not. But I presented with little alternative, and then, after averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, it was there no more, it simply vanished. The koban vanished? Hunting around under the table, I was, in case mayhap it had fallen there, and then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did, but I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hoei treasure. Nothing could distract me. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable day, the precious Hoei Kabana was lost to me. No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself. As I'm sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British, it would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Alchi? Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he'll find a wolf at the back. What does that mean? My witnesses have further testimony to make. Explain. Hey, Sparring Fossil, welcome. Hi. Hope you're doing well. Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could possibly commit this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Despicable me indeed. Very well, the court invites the witnesses to testify again. You'll thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear? As clear as Kiriko glass, Your Excellency. Well, hope you're doing dandy, my friend. Dandy would not be... Dandy's a bit too high, but I'm doing well. But thank you. Yes, sir, at once, sir. Waiting signal to testify, sir. Excuse me, but there's something, or someone, peeking out over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative! The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up through the ranks, sir! Name, Ido! It seemed those straps are a sign of the sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny. Ido. Tension! Oh, tension. Your father's about to quell the enemy! Watch and learn, my boy! The true culprit. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm discharge, it's almost the same thing. Yes. Par, is that a baby in the military man's back? Of course it is. You better believe it. Yes, Portuguese got the foreign man he was, that young lad in black, that much I itself did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed there were only personnel present. Or sorry, we were only the personnel present. Indeed, alone he was the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, none other than the black uniform cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out! Dad on the go, yeah. Daddy's gotta go to court.
Yes!
I didn't even finish. Wait, that's nonsense! The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of these outbursts already. But there's a woman. There's a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her.
Objection!
If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution's photographic evidence of this fact. Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime, counsel? Indeed, of the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the accident. Hey, someone ate the steak. It was full in the last picture. As can plainly be seen, there is only one place set. Certainly, based on the appearance of this print. Hold on, let me double check. Examine. Okay, you can't exactly tell, but it looks... Who eats a dead man's steak? I don't know, but it looks more... It looks less eaten in this picture than... I don't know. Might be seeing things. This doesn't make any sense. The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. Okay, now we can take a look. I don't understand. I don't understand either. Let me take a look. This is important. Examine. Okay. Okay, I'm like 90% sure that's... I'm 90% sure that this steak has since been eaten. But yeah, hold on. Yeah, there's stuff on the fork and knife. Meanwhile, that fork looks clean to me. That fork looks clean to me, and this looks less eaten. I'm fairly certain that's gonna come up. I don't understand. What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman. The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true! I saw her! I swear that I saw a woman with him! It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witness testimonies we've just heard leave no further room for doubt. These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the tree of Great Britain. To think that I, Taketsuchi Aochu, will contribute to the amity of these two great empires is an honor. Oh. Brow's own wind machine like an icon. Well, the thing is, his hair isn't moving, but his headband is. I don't know. How can this be happening? He is a samurai wannabe. Stand tall, Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. He brought his sword and his magic headband. This man's 23, by the way. He's got all this and he's gonna go abroad. What you say is true, that there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it. To draw out the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick, understood? Rules can be so unbending at times. There was one thing I noticed during this. Okay. Bestie holding a fan. Yeah, that's probably what Ryunosuke has. He just has a fan he brought with him just to make sure his headband's always moving. Okay, I don't. This guy said he was not distracted by anything.
Yes.
Yes, it may be true that I was holding the gun at that point in time. But I've told you already. That's only because I picked up the floor. Well, obviously, as the culprit, that's the only way you can explain it away. I just finished drinking my coffee, and I was about to leave the restaurant when... I noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet. Okay, we're just getting repeatedly. I remember that the old man said that he wouldn't be distracted by anything. He was on the floor. Full of events beyond our control, life is. Sorry, what do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Whereas conversely, I failed to pick up the Koban from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as a result. Anyway, the fact remains, myself, I did see you, with pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner. Let's see. What do you think, Ryunosuke? Ooh. What's the matter? I can't find anything. I can't find a clear discrepancy anywhere. I'm done for. I can't win this trial. No. Listen, the first thing to do is to calm down. You can't expect witness statements to be full of holes every time. Just take your time and try and tease more information out of them first. What do you mean? You could choose to either press or present against each of the witnesses' statements. Yeah, that's what I was gonna do next, I think. When it's saying something you're suspicious about, press him on it with Q. With a little luck, you may get more details, which could prove to be crucial. Right, I see. The important point is, there's no sense in holding back. If anything even slightly jars with you, press the witnesses on and press them hard. Alright, got it. I'll press them like blocks of tofu. Professor wasn't alone in the restaurant, I'm sure of it. And one way or another, the cross-examination is gonna prove I'm right. Time to press them for all they're worth. My fate depends on it. Alright. Wasn't the precise so much close enough? Is it close enough? No, it's not the same thing at all. For a start, I didn't fire that gun. We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. I don't think so. Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked. Did you? Did you see it? Did you see me blink? How could I? And yet, it's undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it. Have what? Tension! The sound of the firearm rang in my ears, and the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman. I think that says it all, don't you? And let's not forget that the antiques dealer witnessed the accused in his most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, Kurikuda-san? He didn't see me. I'm gonna press again.
Yes.
Okay, I think it's just gonna show this again. This guy very clearly said earlier that nothing would have distracted him because he was on the floor looking for his coin. I know that part isn't true.
Yes.
You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there. As you've been at pains to point out time and time again, I feel I'm growing a callus in my ear. And yet, no one else appears to catch even a glimpse of this woman. If there had been more people dining there at the time, then someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. The quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know, of course the place is almost empty. So what do you expect? Certainly, 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of a time to eat. Wonder if there was a reason why the victim is eating at that time of day, and why he was alone. Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason. There was? This was found in the victim's jacket pocket. What is that, Counsel? It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant. Hota Clinic. Yes, there would indeed appear an entry for the date in question. 19th of November, noon to past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident. So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it really has no bearing on the case. I wonder... What do you think, Ryunosuke? Huh? Well, it's hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered in the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful. Should I ask for Dr. Wilson's medical report card? Absolutely.
Yes!
Who knows what it has on it? Page 8 could be like, this lady was the murderer. We never know. If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern.
Objection!
Whether or not they have concern is up to us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well. The court will grant the defense's request. Ugh. Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It's a most disturbing trend. God. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. Let's take a look at that thing. What we need right now is new clues. Take a look at this new clue. Oh, we can't actually look into it yet. Okay. That weasel, yeah. You have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right, I hear you. You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you'd like, but it's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you'd forgotten that these witnesses' testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Korakuda-san. Okay, let's try pressing this.
Yes!
Aren't you telling the truth?
What'd you say, Cadet?
I clearly remember. There was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible.
Unfortunately for you, Defendant Naruhodo, it's not just a case of these two witnesses alone.
Sorry?
The waiter whose testimony the court heard earlier clearly stated the same thing. He also said the victim was alone.
That's right. Precisely. In other words, you're the sole proponent of this phantom lady. But if such a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be made. It is a blatant waste of this court's time. There's nothing I can say to that.
Excellent work, Ryunosuke. You've gleaned some new information now.
Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see it brings any real discrepancies to light.
I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before.
Oh, you mean this? Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence. So perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. Now we can examine it, hooray! You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. These are the ones you may examine. Press space, you can take a closer look at the piece in question. Use the arrow keys to rotate the evidence in all directions, examine it from all angles. Whoa, technology's amazing, we can rotate. By using WASD.
You can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues you may have been missed before. If the crosshairs start to pulsate, press space to investigate further. So, partner, I think we should take a closer look at this medical report card. Let's do so. Nope, still can't do it yet. See if there isn't something new to be learnt by examining it in more detail. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Can we do it now? No. We have to wait until it, like, forces us to, I think. Okay, here we go. Let's open up. Here. Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. Ah, and there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It seems so. Just before the incident, he had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they used laughing gas. It's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yeah, I've heard of this anesthesia. Well, it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. Ah, there's a cautionary note for the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure. Hey. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. Hey. That's good. This new information, me that one particular statement totally changes. So I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you? The steak, yeah. And the wine as well. Let me check. Yes, here we go. Let's take a look at these. Water and steak. Okay, so he did have water. The wine's just there because, you know. Carbonated water. Oh, that's not normal water. Never mind. Couldn't have eaten either.
Yes!
That statement is clearly odd. Wait, what? Oh, the dental record. Dang it. I clicked the wrong one. I was looking at the picture. Never, not until I've proven that I'm innocent here. Okay. Okay, get the dental record.
Yes!
There we go. Well, I think, What about what you wondering, lad? Call yourself a lawyer? I wish I could. First and foremost here, I'm the accused. Ryunosuke. Everyone stumbles their words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I could see it quite clearly in that cross-examination you just carried out. When you raised your hand straight up like that, so purposefully, you know exactly what it was you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. Alright, and thanks for the advice. Breathe in, breathe out. There we go. Kurakuda-san, this is medical report belonging to the victim.
I see, and I don't see. What of it, boy?
Comparing what was written on this report card with your witness statement, something clearly doesn't add up. Dear me, have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur? I'm sorry, what? You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel. But let's see if I can explain in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim's murder at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant. But that's, Remember, Ryunosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There's surely no need to prolong this trial further. The witness testimonies the court has heard have been clear and concise. This medical report has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there's no one else beside the pale-faced people who could possibly perpetrate the... This medical report card has nothing to do with the case? Do you really believe that? That outburst half petrified me, boy. Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be relevant? Perhaps because Hota Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic. A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me? Dude, do you not go to the dentist? As I told you, the victim had just had a tooth extracted. What's this now? And furthermore, if I told you that as a result the victim had been forbidden from eating... Just what are you trying to say, Cadet? You had orders not to eat? So what? It's all written up in here. No food or drink or water for 3 hours post-procedure will anesthesia or wears off. What? No, that can't... Gorkuda-san. What, boy? What? As you just heard, when he was killed sometime shortly after 2 p.m., victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No. Additionally, there's more? You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that cannot possibly be the case. Grr. Because the victim, as we now know, had just had one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of the anesthetic. Arr! Expertly done, partner. There's the baby.
Objection!
What was this nonsense, you little upstart? These are baseless accusations. Just look at this photographic evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table.
Objection!
Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic? How dare you? I think it's fair to say the tables in this restaurant case have turned. Wouldn't you agree, Ryunosuke? Yes, most definitely. So having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who, in fact, was eating the pictured beefsteak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel? Counsel? Oh, that means me, doesn't it? Alright, the answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of you turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of. Got it. So, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been... an as of yet unknown third party. Obviously, it can only have been someone else who was sitting at the professor's table.
Objection!
You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person. There was, because I saw her. When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was someone else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear these witness testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial. Relentlessly. I don't like how you're holding that sword there. It's like... almost... threatening. Kazuma. Are you insane? You would take on the government? Don't worry, Counsel. I have no issue with you. What do you mean? I have issue with them, the two witnesses in the stand. What? What are you talking about? We have demonstrated evidence the victim was not alone. So if it now turns out the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously you will be charged with perjury. Perjury? And since this is a murder trial, you'll also be deemed complicit in the killing. Complicit in murder? No! Negative! There was no mention of this at the tactical meeting. I was just following orders. That's right, as the man says. Just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they, told us. Oh. Oh, indeed. What? What'd you just say, Kurakuda-san? Oh, no. You were just following orders? No, hold on, lad. I was, Say you never saw the gentlewoman? Arrgh. When you say gentlewoman, do you mean... You saw the victim with a lady from overseas? What?
Objection!
What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is this true, you pair? Just one simple slip of the tongue. That's the slippiest tongue I've ever seen. Order, counsel, explain what's going on here. It's painfully clear now. You try to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this. Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut? Well, that's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as conspirator of this murder, are you? You wouldn't. This can't be happening. Oh, the baby's upset. Ryunosuke, judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe Alice had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. It could only been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Well, any ideas about who might be behind this? We can affirm who tried to silence these witnesses. We can continue our pursuit. So we need to name whoever it is that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut. Of course, we'll need evidence before we make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield his or her power here. But how? How can we possibly... Remember how we made progress before? Before? We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. Oh, yes, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything. Make sure there's nothing we've missed. There's no time to lose. What answers? It's proven these witnesses have been manipulated. I assure you the penalty will be severe. Please wait. Your Excellency, I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god. I knew nothing. And what does the defense have to say about all this, well, Your Excellency... No time to think. I'm just gonna have to close my eyes and shout out the first name comes to my head. Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witness is... Maybe him? I don't know if it's this guy. This guy wouldn't. Might be this guy, I'm guessing.
Yes!
Well, sure, that would be... Satoru Hosonaga-san! Hosonaga-san, the waiter who took the stand earlier?
Objection!
Poppycock! What possible reason would the waiter have the witnesses gave false testimony? Not to mention the fact that even the head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence. For once, I would agree with you. If, that is, the man truly were a waiter. What? If he truly were? Come on, Ryunosuke. Time to hit this core of the truth. The truth about Satoru Hosanaga's real identity is proven by this evidence. Dun dun dun! Oh my god, it goes all the way to the top. Well, that's unexpected. What is... Look, do you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hosonaga?
Well, yes, business cards do tend to show the person's name. That's sort of the point.
It's not the name that's unexpected, it's his job title.
His job? Oh! Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Inspector? What on earth?
I have no idea. But let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence. They're willing it somehow here. But bam!
Yes!
The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question? I agree it shows a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure we conclude anything.
Sorry, Your Excellency, that's the back of the card. It's the back of the card that of interest.
I beg your pardon?
Or perhaps I should have said the front? Yes, it's the back of the card. That's where the telling detail is.
But someone please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Hosonaga-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of that business card reveals the man in question's profession. His true profession. The waiter's profession? But that's surely... Good gracious!
That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. What? The waiter is a police detective? I haven't heard any mention this before. Why haven't I heard any mention this before?
The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power. Absolute power as far as regular civilians are concerned. So, witnesses there in the stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you the orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you'd seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene? Well...
Oh my god, this music. Inspector Hosonaga.
Oh, what is this final boss music? Hello?
I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized there was a possibility.
The court will take this plan and add to the court record as evidence.
Oh, well...
Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once.
Of course. Here you are. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake. So, you mean to say, you really are a detective? But why would a detective be working at a restaurant waiter? Ah, of course! Your salary must be terrible! I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? That would be classified police information, which I'm not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically they are unrelated to this case of homicide.
Very well then, Inspector Hosonaga. But you elaborate on one point for the court.
Of course, Your Excellency.
We have just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would also have been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner, therefore I'm led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you require these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Please stop coughing.
Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable!
As I suspected. Bang.
As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady, who I guessed to be an Englishwoman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and poured the incident to the bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders? You mean to say, remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once? It was made clear the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those are my orders. But what if this Englishwoman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. The Empire views the friendly terms of relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an Englishwoman the primary suspect? Well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. But it's not right! Oh, hold on a second. No? We okay? We okay, Twitch? Dropped a few frames there for a bit. Are we good? I think we're good. Just a few dropped frames there. Whatever. It's okay. Hold on, I need to take the biggest of sippies right now. Need to take the biggest of sippies. All these different voices are getting to my throat. We good? That's good. What do you mean, Kazuma? Yuma University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain. I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying the medical faculty's research laboratory, is a young Englishwoman. What? You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean, when I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first. Then the court demands you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. The Englishwoman sitting at the university professor's table is a certain Miss Giselle Brett. She is indeed a foreign student studying the research laboratory of Yuma University's medical faculty. What is happening here? A lot. I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene, and ordered those witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimonies. It must now be up to your excellency to decide how to deal with this situation. Very well. My thoughts on the matter are as follows. Oh, thank you for the bits. I appreciate it. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a certain particularly critical premise. Namely, that the victim was dining alone. However, as we have now discovered, this premise is false. It would be a desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point. But your excellency, that would mean missing the noon deadline of a ruling in order to send the telegraphic report of Great Britain. Our own government would surely be very displeased by such actions. Calm yourself, Counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings of my courtroom. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes, sir. You will locate this Giselle Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, your excellency. But that means you'll be going against the special orders you gave from the police bureau. As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So it won't be a problem? Oh. The coughing will be a problem. Nothing will get in my way. Court will adjourn briefly. The prosecution must call the English student Giselle Brett to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear? Yes. Your Excellency!
Good. Then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening.
Man. To be continued. Wait, is this... This can't be... It's still Chapter 1, right? Okay, it is. I was concerned for a second. Trial Part 2. Okay, it's still Episode 1. I was concerned for a second that they'd be splitting this up in a different way. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. That was superb. My heart was in my mouth the entire time. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, look at you in there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it, it's terrifying. If I get through this, I'll never want to see the inside of a courtroom again. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, it looks like we've exposed your Phantom Lady at last. Miss Giselle Brett, student from Great Britain. Is she? That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There's a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along. Yes, you have, haven't you? I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I am sure of. Yes, I can see that. So, about this young gentlewoman. Thanks to our detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened with that? No, I didn't see any of it. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself. Down on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table. I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor. Just after I bent down and picked it up... Bang! I didn't have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot had come from. The waiter ran over to me, looking as white as a sheet. And he bundled me some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. Fast thinking by the detective. He apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay. And so because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside in the dining area. There you are. Well done, both of you. Professor Mikotoba. Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy. Our justice system even more so. Which is why... I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I want to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference. Lawyer or otherwise, if I'm the kind of man I can't let his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life. I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyways. What? What are you saying, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way. Kazuma? Well then, looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes, you need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. I must say, very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection in this case. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UMA. It was I who invited him. Oh, I see. I did not know that before. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. Well, let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentleman who's involved in our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. But I've no doubt you pair will put up a good fight, right to the last. Best of luck! Thank you!
Good job with that, Kermit. Thank you. Now then. I need you to run an errand to the university at once. There's something I think we may need. Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sama. Defendant Naruhodo! Court recess is over. Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once. It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow. Before those old fossils know what hit them. Kazuma? What? Thank you. Really. What for? Well, if you hadn't said you believed me, then I feel like you would have already been found guilty by now. Now look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer, and as a friend. Coming for you, that means a lot. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really gonna give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. This isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then. I'll save the thank yous for after the trial. You can treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from Yume Cafeteria on University Street. With an extra large portion, of course. Oh, dinner's on us if we win, then. There we go. The court hereby resumes the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Prosecutor Aochi, have you managed to subpoena the witness? Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds. And thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under rather painful scrutiny from the government. Sorry. The government scrutinize. That's their job. It's nothing to worry about. It's highly unlikely that the good relationship we forged with Great Britain will emerge this trial unscathed. Will you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down and our nation founders? Again, terribly sorry. The friendship between our nations is really so fragile and the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. You really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke. What do you mean? A secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinions, bungled investigation, missing witnesses. This is what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England? Shut up, you jumped-up rookie boy! You and your friend know nothing of the situation your nation finds itself in! By aligning ourselves as great world power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political maneuverings will secure our futures. Oh, that's a weird way to spell maneuvering. Is that the other? That's a weird way of spelling maneuvering. As an American, I have no idea about that. I won't deny that I'm no expert, I'm just a student. One could arguably study harder too. But standing here in our Supreme Court, there's one thing I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth and justice system is a country with no future at all. Wow. Well said, Ryunosuke. Despite the wide-eyed look of terror. You little brats! Thank you, Counsel. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system. It exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Giselle Brett. Yes. Your Excellency. Oh, here we go. Sure, why not? That's a hat. Well, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan from such a distant land. Tea! Someone bring English tea! In England, no discussions take place without tea. Is that true? No idea. So, could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court? Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I've been working undercover as the head waiter at La Carnival, but my troop... Yes, we know all about you already! Inspector Hosonaga, where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first. Is that true? No idea. More importantly, a little earlier today you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are one thing you're sure of. Oh yes, I think I did, didn't I? Your description of this amazing sight was simply a woman. Sorry, Ryunosuke, but powers of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking. Guilty. So, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please. Excuse me? I can't read that. I think that's supposed to be the point, though. I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but... What? The lady says her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. She's a visiting research student currently enrolled in Yume University's medical faculty. Oh my, what a rare treat to hear the dulcet tones of the delightful language of the British people. I'm afraid I don't understand a word you said, but it was as beautiful as a hummingbird's song. As far as I can tell, the detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. You're obviously do fine in England, Kazuma. English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? Nor you. You clearly have been paying attention in your English classes, Ryunosuke. A court thanks, beautiful lady, for taking the stand. Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett. 3 days ago at a restaurant called La Carnival, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct? She says, yes. All that text just for yes? This could take some time. So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese. She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She said that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting. When you're the one who engineered her escape. I was just following special orders from the Bureau. Well now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic print? Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps? Like, I can make out some letters in this text. But, like, the rest are just nothing. Apparently it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight. Do you mean to say... Yes, it would appear the lady did witness the crime. The very moment when the accused, standing right there in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. Order! Order in court! Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement. Well, looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. Unfortunately, I'll have to ask you to formally testify, if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described. Like, right there on the first line, that's of. The word of. But, like, interesting how they chose to mix those with literal scribbles.
I'd arranged to meet for a slightly late lunch of Dr. Wilson that day. The professor wasn't able to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beefsteak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument. Argument? Uh-oh. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit. This is a condemning testimony indeed. No, I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all. Quiet, you filthy wretch. Look at you, you black-hearted blackguard. And look at this snow-white angel. I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine whose words the court is going to believe. Cooking some pasta? Aw, nice. Now I'm getting hungry. You don't apologize for making me hungry, though. I didn't get much of a lunch. But I just hope you enjoy your pasta. Still making the same mistakes, Ryunosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. That's a lesson you need to learn. Oh, but he's so annoying! Of course I was at the scene as well. I took statements from this lady and the two witnesses who testified before and reported back to the Bureau. It was said that Miss Brett was not involved, so I'd let her go. Testimonies of the last two witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so. On the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit she is today. As you can see, there's nowhere about her person where she could conceal a firearm. Under her hat? I don't think she could hide a gun almost anywhere in that outfit if she wanted to. Unless and until the precise location where the witnesses would have hidden a weapon can be shown, this is moot. Under the hat, obviously. There are no pockets in my outfit. I've nowhere to hide a gun. Those are the witnesses' own words on the matter. Ugh, that's ridiculous. If one was allowed to lift up her... No, Ryunosuke, don't. Don't think about doing anything rash, Ryunosuke. But I didn't fire the gun I picked up. There must have been another gun there that day. You're right about that. Which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that's what we'd have to prove now. And to do so, we'll need to pull her testimony apart. What the? The defense may now cross-examine the witness. Oh, yes, Your Excellency. Frightening and sorrowful sight. Arranged to meet for a slightly late lunch of Dr. Wilson that day. Yep, that... I'd say round 2 is round late-ish. A beef steak. Okay, fierce argument. Let's press this. I never got into an argument with the professor. All I did when I noticed him was go over to say hello. Please, don't get angry with me. No, I wasn't directing that retort at you. It was about the lady next to you. But anyways, I said I did not argue with the professor. I'm afraid your words are in vain. Sorry? Miss Brett does not appear to speak Japanese. No, of course not. Japanese is such a cumbersome language anyway. English is the future. We must all supiku English. I wonder if the prosecution will feel that way forever. Or only in the presence of a beautiful woman, Well, that beautiful woman is telling blatant lies with a completely straight face. To find something that will unravel her testimony, no matter how seemingly insignificant it may be. Anyway, it seems after the argument, the accused briefly returned to his own seat. That part ties in with what you said, doesn't it? Yes, I still had some coffee to drink. And the next time you got up after that, when I finished my coffee and stood up to leave. That smirk on her face. Okay, let's go back to... Oh. I didn't even get a chance to press the other statements. Game just said, okay, you've had enough. She's maintained gun to an argument with the professor, at the end of which you shot him. Which is an out-and-out, totally unfounded lie. Still, her statement is very compelling. After all, she's an elegant, refined, young, and beautiful gentlewoman for Great Britain. In stark contrast to you, dressed from head to toe in a dull black school uniform. I'm dressed exactly the same way you are, except for the flapping red ribbons. Well, anyway, this is our only chance to expose her testimony as the fiction that it is. If we can't do that, trial's over. Even you with your thick skin must be able to feel the murderous looks you're getting from around the room. Only too well, I feel half dead already. The fact that I can't see a single inconsistency or testimony isn't making me feel any better either. The first thing to do is to press her on any of her statements that seem even slightly off to you. Do that, and an opening will present itself. I promise you. You need to expose the true face of this exotic foreigner that's hiding behind the mask. That's what? No. I'm not even gonna make... I'm not gonna go any further on that joke. Anyway, cross-examination time. Let's do it. What are you talking about there? After 2 p.m., in fact. That's really quite a late lunch, isn't it?
Objection!
You don't keep up with the latest fashions from Britain, do you? Late luncheons are en vogue, is that right? No. Decisive English no has quite a sting to it. The gentlewoman is currently working in the victim's research laboratory, it seems. So it was apparently a daily occurrence that they would lunch together. But on the day in question, the victim had another appointment at the clinic first. Yeah, so you can prove from the medical report card that was submitted as evidence earlier. That's right. Miss Brett and the victim went to lunch following the victim's treatment, which is why it was so late. Yes, that all makes perfect sense. Such wonderful logic. What a shining example of English intelligence this fine gentlewoman is. So you both arrived at the restaurant. What happened next? We haven't pressed the steak. Guess we'll press it.
Yes!
The steak's gotta be important. His own will eat, you say. Now it's because he just had a tooth removed at the Hoda Clinic, correct? That's right. You're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering. Was Miss Brett aware of that fact? It seems so, yes. She'd heard the professor was to have some dental treatment. So that would mean... Ooh, phone has alert. Doesn't affect me. That it was you ate the steak pictured here. Is that right, Miss Brett? That's right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying events. Exactly as it was left? Dear me, what a harrowing experience! To have traveled to a distant island on the far side of the world and to be embroiled in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I shall crush the evil fiend that subjected you to this terrible plight. So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all? That's right. Other than some carbonated water. Just water? Yes. The professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. So it appears the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. They each raised a glass of carbonated water. What do you think, Ryunosuke, about the witness's last statement? It is meaningful, I noticed, because, the last statement of yours, Miss Brett, has a profound bearing in this case, and let me check to show why. There's only one glass at this table. Oh. There's only one glass at the table. It's exactly as it was. Well, how fascinating. Do tell us, what is this profound bearing, The significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right. The defense calls for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony. Well sidestepped, counsel. Very well, Miss Brett. Kindly repeat what you just said to be added to your official testimony. Gladly, she said. That was brilliant, Kazuma. I'm going to remember that one. Which one? The significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase. And I hope there are some more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that, Ryunosuke. Nope, that's all we're getting. You said cheers over press of a glass of carbonated water, but only one glass. Oh, right. Present.
Yes!
That's a good face. That was a good face. That one frame before he, like, That's it. Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That was exactly as it was left. That is correct, the lady says. Well, that is... It's odd. Very odd. Dear me, what's odd is the defense's inability to express itself. Ryunosuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you? Well, obviously, it's the cheers. The cheers? Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. Ah. You're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured here.
Objection!
Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutiae? What possible difference does the presence or absence of glass make on the case? Minutiae, you say? Could it be that the detective here removed a glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I would never do something so reckless. There should have been 2 glasses at the table. Or are you going to try to tell me you can clink with only 1? You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Inspector, what'd the lady say? It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. What? It was all so terrifying, everything that had happened. I panicked and thought she tried to hide the fact that I'd been there at all, she's saying. Good gracious! Sorry. There, as I assured the court before, this is of no consequence at all. Oh, please. We must remember this student had just murdered this lady's lunching companion before her very eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or 2 in their state of disarray? That's absurd. Oh, really? So we take it that you are now going to accuse this vulnerable, young, and beautiful woman of mischief? Yes, you're formally charged with mischief. Life in prison for mischief. What? No, this can't be put down to mischief. I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene. It would seem she slipped it into a small handbag she's carrying. A handbag that could hold a gun? A handbag, you say? Yes, Your Excellency. A small handheld pouch commonly carried by well-to-do women in England. That could hold a gun! So, the beautiful lady has very graciously explained how and why she moved the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains the glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. This student's been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning. Pardon? He's been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning. That's a statement. Sure, game. But in the end, it comes to nothing. No more pretentious accusations. You've wasted enough time already. Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she moved the glass.
I think henceforth we consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement?
Well, I don't know, really.
If you want to pursue this matter further, I'm going to need to show that it has some deeper significance.
Yes, you're right. So she took the glass away in her handbag. There's a deeper significance there, it's...
The handbag. She could hold a gun in it!
Wait, the lady put the glass in her handbag, you say?
Yes, do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlewomen carry handbags for small items. Like a gun!
Let me see, a little while ago, Miss Brett stated that the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag, which would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun.
You're right!
Well done, partner. Had a feeling you'd pick up on that, too.
What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard?
It's really all very simple.
The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will. You can't seriously be suggesting...
Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Did you or did you not search Miss Giselle Brett's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir, I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag.
No! Order! 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 What's the meaning of this, Inspector?
The meaning of what, Prosecutor Ouchie?
Why don't you have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time? Thanks to your bungling competence, now she has to answer these uncomfortable accusations.
Brilliant work, partner. Now I have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. Not saying it. Do you really think so, Kazuma?
Oh god. Oh god, that set him off.
Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly I have no faith in the police. As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting. Simply because... it was unnecessary.
Unnecessary in what way?
I ought to thank the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I'd completely forgotten about. This photographic print.
Hey, what's that on his wrist there? That seems important, huh? That's probably really important.
The print of is a photograph I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag.
Well, I never. You can see right through to what's inside.
That's right. Apparently, meshwork bags like these are the height of fashion in London at the moment.
So the contents are clearly visible.
Exactly. There's no need to search the lady's handbag. Sorry, time for another big sippy. There we go. I'm gonna have a sore throat tomorrow. But it's worth it. It's worth it. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here. Thank you for helping to prove that, Naruhodo-san.
Oh god, that must have hurt. Order! Order! Inspector Hosonaga, you will submit that printed evidence at once.
Certainly, Your Excellency.
I wonder if that mark on the guy's wrist is important. I think you've had long enough to cross-examine the witness, counsel. The court has now shown considerable evidence. As the photographic print just submitted in the court record appears to have no further significance, I am satisfied there's no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling.
Indeed, and there's only one logical conclusion. That the pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before is the only possible perpetrator of this crime.
No. Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around.
I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start. Kazuma?
I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. Now the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue.
What? You mean this is it? I must say, you put up quite a fight for a rookie student. But the weak are meat while the strong eat. You're wasting your time. There is no way to defeat true justice. A fact you can chew on to your heart's content from the inside of your cell.
This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime I didn't commit? And Kazuma. His dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Kazuma. What? Is there really no chance now of turning this trial around? You heard the judge. There's nothing about the last photograph detective produced that we can contest. Which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. Nothing, huh? Very well. I'll now proceed immediately to the ruling.
It seems we'll be able to report to the British government on time after all.
That smug little... Ryunosuke Naruhodo, having considered all of the evidence placed before me, hereby find you...
Wait, Your Excellency.
Ryunosuke.
I don't think you can rule in this case yet. This amateurness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems the trial is over, he gives his ruling. That is the most basic protocol of the courtroom.
Yes. Your Excellency, just a moment ago you said that this, as the photographic print has submitted, appears to have no further significance. There's no longer any room for doubt in this matter. I must make my ruling. Now that means that if there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail, I mean, then ruling on the case at this time would be out of the question.
This is blatant straw clutching. Look at this photographic print. All it shows is the handbag the gentleman was carrying in the day in question. There can be no problem with this evidence.
You better know what you're doing, Ryunosuke. I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court's scrutiny. I wonder what it could be. However, I've failed to see what we can glean any new information from this handbag.
Ha! My thoughts exactly! Really, the prosecution should come try this rookie's desperate wheezes.
Yes, I'm desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph, it just doesn't seem right. If only I could put my finger on it. Very well, I will grant the defense one final opportunity.
What?
But be warned that if I'm unsatisfied by your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, Your Excellency.
So, take another look at the photographic print Inspector Hosonaga submitted before. You identify for the court where in this print we see the significant detail to which you have alluded.
Yes.
Look at this here. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist.
That is true. Looks almost like a burn of some description.
Objection!
Dear me, I was pondering what new piffle you'd come up with. A burn, you say, on the victim's wrist? Clearly it has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag.
Yes, that is a burn mark, you're right. Go on, Inspector.
The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report. What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? And no possible way of knowing either.
Well, I don't know. Let's check the photograph.
Look at the... Hey! 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 I found it. Why, you little... I found you! I found you! I found you. I found you, faker! It's on the plate. It's on the plate. The plate must have been real hot. It branded him with the thing. I know it is. The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. However, as Prosecutor Ouchi points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn. I was like, wait a minute, that kind of looks like a cow. Cow? Steak? Excuse me, Excellency. It would seem Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the Dean and other university staff. She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now. Oh, of course, dear lady. We shan't hold you up any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway. What's your thinking on this, Ryunosuke? Do you believe this burn does have something to do with the case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. So I think I should keep digging and digging, in the hope that I might uncover something useful. Yes, you're right. I am? If we can just link that burn to the case. If we can do that, we might be able to prise this shutting door back open again. Just give up, Counselor. You can't possibly hope to do that. Indeed, I'm afraid that without evidence, I can't allow you to pursue what is little more than conjecture. But if we had evidence that Airfubi linked the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then you would allow it? I would, yes. To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. But as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color drain from Miss Brett's face. Really? I have to find some link between that burn and the case. This is the moment of truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves what that burn really means. So then, the defense will now present its evidence to the court. Evidence that demonstrates an inextricable connection between the victim's burn and this trial. Let's double check that is this specific. Examine. Yep, it's right there. The plate! The plate! What's this, Counsel? Yet another print? Yes, Your Excellency. What's that glove he has on him, by the way? Did he hurt his wrist or something? I believe photographic prints are an amazing invention. But when humans take a look at the scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore. Do hurry up, Rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady any further really would be quite inexcusable. Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer if you don't mind, Miss Brett. You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have the unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason was recorded here forevermore. What? How? You can't fool with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. Why isn't this photograph explains the reason for the victim's burn? Right there.
Yes.
The beef steak? Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was served on. The plate. Your Excellency, are you alright? As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. I guess it's some sort of trademark of La Carnival. The emblem on this plate. And the victim's burn are exactly the same shape. Ryunosuke, you're genius. You're spot on. Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant.
Objection!
But even if that is the case, we can't know if it happened on the day in question or not. Could have been the day before, or the day before that. Basically happened some other unrelated time. Well,
Objection!
Sadly, Prosecutor Aochi, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks. Why? The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hosonaga? I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly. But... I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. It's inconceivable the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then. I've been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already, but I've not heard anyone scream at all. As head waiter of La Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation. But you're a detective, not a waiter!
Yes!
I like how everyone keeps their pose they were doing previously. There you have it, something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burnt themselves in a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. There's no question of that. Yet Inspector Hosonaga never heard the professor scream, not on that day or any before it. That's right, and the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day, that would be beyond careless, I think, Counsel. The rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant, and the old antiques dealer, all of us would, without any question, have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Aochi? Well, yes, I suppose. So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? I almost don't believe it. Ryunosuke, do you think... Can it really be true? I never dreamt we were having a conclusion like this, but... I'm starting to think that maybe... we've been led into a terrible trap! There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson was already deceased. No man can remain silent while his wrist is burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible, apart from in one particular situation. Counsel, are you suggesting... Yes, it's only possible if the man was already dead. Already dead? Knowing what we know now, it's the only possible explanation. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead. That's madness! I'm not gonna make the Sparta joke, that's too obvious. Order, please! Counsel, explain this absurd notion at once! The victim was killed by a gunshot! That's right, that's absolutely right, Your Excellency! This is just another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student, but clearly has no grasp of the facts! No, Prosecutor Aochi, it's you who has no grasp of the facts. I beg your pardon? As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered that burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet? Your Excellency, the court must hear from this witness again. If it's true, as we now believe, that victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard, it's highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it. Incredible. I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you will have to forget your luncheon engagement. But, Your Excellency... The justice system of our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured that all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I'm prepared to pass judgment. Thank you, Your Excellency.
What's that smile? Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. Especially if it helps relations between my country and yours. Miss Brett, you speak Japanese? Well, of course I do. I'm studying your country, after all.
But then, why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now?
My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking your vulgar tones as much as possible. Jesus. But seems the men in this land possess none of the chivalrous values of English gentlemen, so I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with you on your own level. Oh, well... You are the epitome of true English gentlewomen. We are truly honored by this lavish consideration you so graciously afford us.
I see. In that case, Miss Brett, I'll now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson.
So, we're finally going to hear her own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting, Ryunosuke. Oh boy, here we go. The real deal. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death beside the gunshot. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. Wait. Could the dental work have something to do with it? Could it be that? But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway.
That most captivating, beautiful testimony will go down in Supreme Court's history. Thank you.
Easy does it. I hope that's the last time I have to sully my lips with this coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone. Not at all, not at all. It's delightful to merely hear you speak, dear lady. It seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant. I'll be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what happened here today. The Minister of Justice? May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. Amen. Huh? Thanks? Was that a prayer, then?
Well, you'll have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett. Put up with the cross-examination now. I expect you've noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much. I'm sure I don't need to remind you, counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination in this trial. Failed to demonstrate any problems with this witness's testimony, I'll be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear?
Nice. Yes, Your Excellency.
Then you may proceed with the cross-examination.
Well, that's one heck of a way to snap yourself out of it. Victim's death. Let's press this first. But Sam was on the same hot plate for at least 3 whole seconds. You can't not have noticed. Do you think so? Let me ask you something. Sorry? Ever since I arrived in this courtroom, and even still now, the fly on those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open. You can't not have noticed, can you? Huh? Huh? What? Ah! Ha! What fun! You hadn't realized. The dear lady's absolutely right. As your friend, you've embarrassed me as well as yourself, Ryunosuke.
Why didn't you tell me? Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. Oh, I saw that clipping through your nose for a second. He chose honorable science over vulgar scream. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing? Oh, yes, I think my tiny brain can.
Yes!
Well, I can't. Anyway. Raised her glass in the toast, yeah.
Yes!
As testified before, you're drinking carbonated water, is that right? Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at that time, if you remember. Which explains why I ordered that drink. Correct, waiter? Exactly as you say, sir. Although... Whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I delivered the steak to the table... I'm afraid I don't remember that. Darn you. I have enough English to understand that, at least. For the benefit of the court, it means, bless you. I think it means the exact opposite. Anyway... Did the post-mortem report show anything? Examine. Okay. Single bolt 5 in crow's rage, fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma, no exit wound, bullet did not pass through the body. You are right. Doesn't say it. Let's press anyway, though. Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma. Yes. Luckily for all of us, a little burn in the wrist isn't going to kill us, as there were no other signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death. It can only been the bullet from your gun that put an end to this innocent man's life. But it doesn't make sense. The burn must happen straight away, when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter. Yes, that's true. If it had cooled even slightly, it wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that. If the victim burned his wrist in the hot plate as soon as it was brought out from the kitchen, it must have already been dead at that point. Hate to make you hungry, this pasta slaps. Ooh. No, I already said you don't need to apologize for it, but that sounds awesome. I may make pasta myself if I have any. If not, I can go to the store. Because I'm getting in the mood for pasta.
Objection!
I fear this game has put me off from steak. So I have to go with pasta instead. And yet, the fact that the victim was killed by gunshot to the chest, until you're able to show the court evidence to disprove that, is a complete waste of time. I concur, Prosecutor Ouchie is right. Ugh. Okay. Some other way manslaughter can be taken without leaving a trace. Please do show me.
Yes!
Perfect meat sauce. Nice. Without leaving a trace. If someone is shot, or strangled, or stabbed, or thrown from a height, however a person's life is taken, there are always telltale traces on the body. Quite right, dear lady. And as our police forces thoroughly examine the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Is that right, Inspector Hosonaga? Can he just shush for 5? No. He's got to do it. As I've said, I've always aimed for a flawless investigation. There'd be physical traces of all those causes of death, that's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark. If, heaven forbid, you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone how exactly you think the Professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it? Oh no, perish the thought, calling such a sweet young lady's innocence into question. On my honor, I, Takesuchi Ouchie, will cut down any dare cast such aspersions. A way of killing someone that leaves no trace. Need some evidence to back us up here. Yes, evidence. Oh hey. They probably won't be able to detect chemicals.
Yes!
Inferior? What do you mean by that? In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police store everything you found at a crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once and that's the end of it. Isn't that so? Quite right. That kind of file's open for business as usual today, just days after the incident. Exactly, which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost. Hey, excuse me. Sir? What was that? It doesn't even occur to you named detectives try to preserve the crime scene. Hosonaga, what was that, buddy? What was that there? I'm trying to be as tactful about this as I can, you understand? Haha, killer blow! This lady is formidable as she is beautiful. Yeah, here, I'm gonna... You need this, buddy? You need... Dang it, I tried to push my bottle into the monitor and didn't go through. He's actually a man our police may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Ouchie is finally starting to make sense. Or see sense. Very much doubt that. Still, there's something about what Miss Brett just said. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right. What do you think, Ryunosuke? I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information. Yes, as I suspected. She's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a chink in her armor. Kazuma. What, Ryunosuke? There is one thing I noticed. It's been bothering me. Bothering you? You mean about Miss Brett? Actually, no. About the person standing next to her. Inspector Hosonaga. The detective? Yeah, he seemed to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant. Might present an opening, maybe. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her on that last statement one more time. If you think so, but this time instead of targeting the woman herself. Let's see what we can get out of the detective. Alright then. I wonder what Kazuma's thinking. Find out soon enough, I suppose. As I press Miss Brett her last statement again. Oh boy. Press her again.
Yes.
Wait.
Hey, saw that. Yes, there it is again. The detective's reaction is just the same as before. Why? Up until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has been saying. This would be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, they often let their guard down. You're right. Look at him, he's lost in his own thoughts. It's time to pursue the man in his train of thought. Sorry? Pursue? I'll explain how to do it now, Ryunosuke. It's all to do with the witness marker. What marker? At the moment we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement. But by moving the marker left and right with A and D, you can turn your attention to other people in the stand. While you're looking at the other witnesses, you'll be able to pursue them with space. If you can catch the person just at the right time, you might uncover some new information to pursue. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people on the stand, take a good look around. Alright then, so first I should move the marker across with A and D and focus on the detective. Then pursue him with space and see what's on his mind. Here we go.
Wait.
Okay, there we go, that worked.
Excuse me.
Yeah! What's the meaning of this? Oh my god, oh god. Help him. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in his thoughts. Deeply. Looked like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say? If there's something you'd like to say, please, share with the court. What's the meaning of this? It's the delightful Englishwoman who's testifying at the moment. Yeah, please get him a doctor. I don't know what's wrong with him, but he's coughing up blood a lot. If you can't fight with her testimony, the cross examination should be over immediately. Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not. The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Yes, not to mention the fact he's intimately involved in the case. Inspector Hosonaga? Yes? Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Yeah, take your time. Well, yes, if you don't mind. I would like to speak. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain. Which is why Satoru Hasunaga, always tried to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. You're so invested in this. It's the first Ace Attorney game witness never played. Wow, yeah. Yeah, this is completely, like, a different time from Phoenix Wright. This is, like, way in the past. Yeah, these stories get really investing. Like, you get really invested in them. This is, like, way more so than the Phoenix Wright games I've played, actually. Well, it looks like the laser marks touched a nerve there. Take this, for example. Is that... This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago now. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's some left in the bottle. I can see it. One day, our police force will be among the best in the world. The time is coming, I guarantee it. Oh my god, please. This guy. Can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept the glass bottle of water as evidence. Okay, hold on. I need to take a look at this. Hold on. Examine. What does this say on it? The label's written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. Do you know what it says, Kazuma? I think it's French. Must be very expensive water. Yeah, but what does it say? That's what I was asking. Hat's very telling. Swans and Terry's jerks and Krebs confronted. Oh, really? Nah, that might come into play. You could just say that you don't know. Anything else in this? Just the label, I guess. Alright. Thought there'd be more to it, but it's just a bottle. Maybe it'll say something on it. Can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death? Yes, it was that bottle. What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question. Very well, counsel, you may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his fervor. Ahem. I hope so. This guy needs a doctor right now. Okay.
Yes!
Let's try pressing this again.
Excuse me.
Do you have anything to say about that, Miss Brett? No, nothing. So, nothing strikes you as odd having heard that last statement? Only your approach to this trial. Nothing else springs to mind. Oh.
You people are so uncivilized. It's insane to make idle conversation with a gentlewoman you don't know. Kindly refrain from talking to me again, please. If he's poisoned, buddy, sit down. You'll do your best to crush her. I do hope they explain why he's coughing like that. Yeah, I don't know if the... New evidence. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. Never even thought of pursuing another witness over the current witness statements. That was a great idea, yours, Kazuma. That was all thanks to you noticing the detective reacted strangely to what the lady said. I never guessed he had all that bubbling away under the surface. To be honest, he keeps surprising me at every turn. Sorry? Oh, never mind. So we know Dr. Wilson was killed at around the time the steak was brought to his table. By some means it left no physical trace on his body. If we could just demonstrate how it was done. I do have one idea about that, how the professor was killed. Maybe I should just present the evidence to see what happens. Really? Alright. Do we just prove with the bottle? Let's try.
Yes!
What is this, the bottle of water? Actually, there's one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison. Poison? On the day of his death, we know Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? A woman's weapon, yeah. Could it be the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? My question is, like, the carbonated water at all, like, if you get a tooth taken out, you're on anesthetics, say not to only drink water, is carbonated water do anything with that? I don't know, actually. I don't know if that matters, it might just be normal water. And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to slip the poison into his drink? There's only one person who could possibly done it. Giselle Brett, it was you!
Objection!
This is outrageous! To suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence! You little rookie imbecile, have you even considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten that we only have just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you even the vaguest inkling your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty?
Objection!
This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime. What? The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth. Ahem, if I may. I will silence you forever for this disgraceful... Oh. It is you who should be silent. Of course. Dear lady? Where'd that come from? She just snapped. I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer my humble apologies. I'm sorry, my lady, to what are you referring? I described your police forces as inferior, but no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated that particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector, and whether it contained poison or not. Did you? Of course. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time. I don't believe it. Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents. And what'd you find, Inspector? I ordered tests from every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. Hey, this country. This country. That's gonna be it. I'm telling it, that's gonna be it. This country. We can find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency. What? Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself. No. No! because he specified this country, that is absolutely gonna be it. That's definitely gonna be it. I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. You've successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you. But of course, dear lady, the pleasure was all ours. I was so sure. This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Thank you, counsel. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything. As the prosecution have asserted, a shot from the chest of this gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit. I'm done for. The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience this caused you, Miss Brett. Oh no, I'm just glad the matter is resolved. Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present the court at this point? New evidence, I don't think... Kazuma? I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. I have nothing more. Well, if you'll excuse me now, I really must be leaving.
Hold it!
Huh? Oh hey, it's her. Please wait! Huh? Isn't that... What is the meaning of this? Forgive me for intruding court proceedings, Your Excellency. She's also Mikotoba, judicial assistant to the defense. Mikotoba? In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared just like a bolt of lightning. In her hand, she carried a small package wrapped in a furoshiki cloth. To be continued, oh my goodness. Oh boy. Man. Jeez. Oh man. Oh baby. Oh baby, oh baby. This is getting places. I'll be honest. I don't know how much longer I want to go on stream. Because we've gone for 3 hours. That's a good amount of stream time. I don't want to go for, like... The longer I go past 3 hours, the more I'm worried I'm going to go, like, 6 or 7 hours. Because that's happened before. And it's going to be another hive swap. And I don't want to go that long. And I think this might actually be the perfect point to end off for the stream today. As much as I hate being like, oh, cliffhanger. That's actually... probably a good way to get people to come back. Is say we'll continue this another time. But yeah. That'll do it today. This was incredibly fun. This has been so much fun. I'm loving this already. Like, I don't know how long this game is, but I kind of really want to play through it all now. I wasn't super sure at the time, but where am I? Where am I? I'm here. Hi. I wasn't super sure about, like, how invested I'd be in this, but, yeah. This is good. I'm invested now. So, yeah, thanks to everyone that showed up and watched. I appreciate it. It's nice having people come by. And, next time we stream, probably going to be more of this, because I want to see where this heads. So, be sure to... if you have socials and want to follow, there they are. Otherwise, like, keep the stream notifications on. You'll be able to see when I go live on Twitch. I think it's a little bell and stuff. So, oh yeah, if you did miss the stream, like if you're gonna miss a stream, YouTube will have VODs up. So if you miss it, it'll be on there at least a day or so after. That's it for today. Thank you again, everyone, for watching. Means a lot. So I'm gonna have myself some dinner, probably some pasta, because you inspired me for that. And hope you all have a lovely rest of your evening. Thank you for streaming. Yeah, it was nice. Yeah. What else can I say? This is a very fun game already, and I wanna get back to this soon. I'll see when I can. Maybe I could try stream a bit earlier so I can go later if I need to. But yeah, that's it for today. Goodbye, everybody. Take care, and yeah. Have a good night. You all have a good night, too. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Take care.